Hey guys, Big Dan Bates here once again with the Sony A9 in hand. This video I'm going to try to keep as short as possible. It's only 3 pages and the last page is just a reset menu, so we should be able to get through this pretty quickly. So this all has to do with network, your Wi-Fi connections, and things you're going to have to do over some sort of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I would predecess this section with, if you want to use most of the stuff on here, you're going to have to go and download from the App Store or the Play Store Sony Play Memories app. And that is how you access. That's the app that links the camera to your iPhone. It's very important. It's actually a great app to have. There's the remote control on it. It's really nice. And so before you really get into any of this, you need the app on your device, iPhone, Android, tablet, whatever, any type of mobile Wi-Fi enabled device, you need the app for. Second caveat, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because I'm not set up here right now today to do full demonstrations of a couple of these things in here. For our first item, send the smartphone, I believe I go over that in my video, Lightroom Mobile, really not that bad or something like that. You can find that on the channel. And the control with smartphone, I think I talk about that on one of the videos as well. But if not, I will be making specific videos as needed. So if any of these areas confuse you, or you want to do these things but you're not sure how, I can always elaborate. I can always make a second video. We could hook up. I can go over it with you on the phone or through YouTube or Skype or Facebook, whatever. So we're going to quickly go through this. And again, a lot of the stuff I'm not going to be able to fully demonstrate, but I can at least explain to you what's happening here. So first thing up, send the smartphone. When you want to send pictures from the phone to a smartphone or to a mobile device, you would use this. Again, you need to Play Memories app. And what's going to happen is it's going to give you an option, select on the camera or to select on the smartphone. I actually prefer to select it on a smartphone because the screens typically are bigger and I got goofy eyes. Once you do this, it's going to activate the Wi-Fi. It's going to bring this up. My suggestion to you is not to use this. This is the Play Memories mobile app. You can scan this and it's going to create and install a profile on your phone. I've had issues with the profiles with the other cameras. With the iPhone, I don't know if it's security with the iPhone or what it is, but oftentimes it makes me then rescan it and then I have to install the profile again. Instead, I recommend hitting just like the bottom of the screen says, hit the trash can and connect with password. All you're going to do now is launch the Wi-Fi settings in your phone, go into the Wi-Fi section. You're going to see direct, zero, whatever. Yours will be different. And then you're going to click that. It's going to ask you for the password. You're going to enter that password and you're going to be linked, and it's just easy and it saves it. Unless you reset it or unless there's a security update on your phone, you'll always just be able to link up to your phone pretty much instantly. Now, it's obviously I'm not hooked up right now, so we are not getting into that. Oh, let me get out of that. I had to take a picture here at my desk just so I could show you this stuff. For some reason, when you come out of there, it dumps you back to the beginning of the menu. Send to computer. Now, this is not really a Wi-Fi thing. You're going to select what memory card you're using. But what you have to do, this is a USB connection. So you're going to take just a standard USB to micro USB wire that if you have an Android phone, it's probably the exact wire that you use to charge it. A very common wire. And you're going to plug it obviously into your USB port. And on the left side of the A9, there's the bottom hatch, the half hatch. When you pop that open, there are 2 connectors. You want the bottommost connector, that is your micro USB port. The actual A9 actually comes with a micro USB cable, and most of your cameras will. So you would just physically hook it up to the computer, and the computer is going to see it as a mass storage device, and you can actually drag and drop. But once you hook it up within this option here, you're going to have the ability to pick and send specific pictures from the camera. FTP transfer function. This is a more complicated, like tier 3 type tech stuff here. So if you have an FTP server, you're going to already understand all this. I'm not going to have to explain it to you. If you're not paying for a server, or you don't have a link hooked up to a specific cloud device or cloud service, aside from maybe having your own FTP server on your hosting, you would set this up. So let's hypothetically say I have several, but hypothetically I want to set up an FTP server for Bates Photography. I would go in, I'd create a directory in batesphoto.net. I would correct the directory there. I'd come in here and I'd say, okay, here's my server, display name. I'd type out like Bates Photography, FTP, destination settings, host name, well, ftp.batesphoto.net. Whatever my security protocol is, what port I'm using, and what folder I want the pictures and stuff to go in. Okay. And then info settings, here I type my password and username for to access that FTP folder. And you have an option for 3 presets here. This is when you do it, you're okay, I want to go to FTP server 1, 2, or 3, or however you have them named. And then you would initiate the transfer, and then when it's done, you can, like anytime, look at this to get the information of the transfer you did. So the date, time, the number of images, and did it go through okay or not. So that's the essential part of that. I can elaborate, like I said, if you need me to, but if you have an FTP server, you already know how to set this up. View on TV, this option is grayed out to us because I don't have a compatible device. So I imagine it's the Sony smart TVs that this is compatible with. I have Apple TV devices in the house. I have Roku devices in the house. And this doesn't give me the option to hook up to any of them. So it's probably going to be, you know what, let me turn on my Bluetooth real fast and see if that changes it. Yeah, even with the Bluetooth on, it doesn't. You have to have, I believe, probably a Sharp TV for that to work. Control the smartphone. Love this option. It's sad because part of this menu used to be applications. The 6000, the 6300, the 65, and I believe even the A7 series had the ability to download apps from Play Memories. Now, they were a little hokey. You know, there were things like, you know, double exposure or this or that. But there was a great like time-lapse app in there. And one of the great things that it came with by default was Smart Remote. Now, they've removed apps from this model. They figure it's a pro body, and most professionals aren't going to mess with that hokey type of stuff like selective color or whatever, which you still can do in the picture profiles, in the camera settings. But a lot of the stuff was like portrait retouch apps that you had no control over. It just like looked at your picture and kind of auto set some settings for you. They were very, you know, like smartphone-ish, hokey type of things. But it was fun. They had a ton of stuff in there, multi-language support and all. So one of the most important ones was the remote control. So I'm very happy to see that they preserved the remote control option. So how this would work, again, you need the PlayStation Memories app. You need to open it up. You're going to come in here. When you turn this on, connection info, it's going to be that same deal where you have to log in and hook up. Once you've done this, again, I recommend hitting the trash can and doing it via password through your Wi-Fi settings. Once you do all that, you are able to use your smartphone as a remote control. You're going to see on the screen what the camera is saying, and you'll be able to take pictures and change your f-stop and your shutter speed and everything through that remote app. It's really great, actually. I don't do a whole lot of selfie work, but there's times where I have to, say, put the camera in a real odd place where I can't stand behind it and look through a viewfinder or something on a high perspective. And I can just set the camera wherever I need it to be, and I can just be off to the side with the app doing what I need to do. Airplane mode off or on, pretty self-explanatory, just like your cell phone. If you turn this on, you lose all access to any network, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, anything. It shuts it all off. If you're out in the field somewhere and you're not using Wi-Fi or something, you could turn this off, because this will show off your Wi-Fi, show off your Bluetooth, and save some battery life for you. And then, if you shut it off, and then when you get back to your hotel or somewhere where you need it, you simply turn it off again, and it re-enables, as you see, all of your connections. Okay, network page 2, Wi-Fi settings. You can do WPS push. Most modern routers have a WPS button on it, so I can do this. It's looking for my router. Hey, push that WPS button in the next 2 minutes if you want us to talk and link up. If you don't have a WPS button, you can come down to your access point set. It's going to scan your Wi-Fi network. Searching, searching, searching. These are my 2 Wi-Fis. That's the neighbor. And I could simply come in here, click it, enter my password, and be on my Wi-Fi. If for some reason your SSID is hidden and you don't know what it is, or if it's hidden and you don't want to unhide it to do this and it's not showing up, then you can go into manual setting, WPS pin, but if you had WPS, you would have used the last setting. So here you type in your SSID. Like I said, if it's hidden, you know what it is, but it doesn't display. You manually can type it in and do your password. You can select WEP, WPA, or none, and then type in your password for that to get onto your Wi-Fi. Bluetooth settings. Bluetooth settings are important for the next part of this menu. So you come in here, you turn it on, you pair it to your phone through the PlayStation Memory mobile app. You have to pair it through that app. It's not like a Bluetooth speaker where you go to a Bluetooth menu and it shows up. It has to pair and communicate through the app. So the app has to be on anytime you're using a Bluetooth function. And then display a device, that's just the device address of your Bluetooth. There is also in your Wi-Fi settings, I kind of skipped ahead here. There's your MAC address. So when you're on your Wi-Fi and you're looking at your router status and all your connected devices, so many things nowadays don't list the device name. It only lists the MAC address. There's no like ID. Even my daughter's iPhone, they used to say iPhone, or they would read the name that you've programmed into the iPhone. Now it's just the MAC address. So this will help you identify the device on your network, especially if you're trying to lock it down to a specific address. And then SSID password reset. This is simply for, I showed you about logging into your Wi-Fi. I brought up that white screen with the name and the password you have to use. If for some reason you ever want to reset that and change it, you do this, you hit OK, and it's going to change it. Now you have to reconnect using the new password to your mobile device. So let's go back out of there. So Bluetooth, we talked about that, turning it on, pairing it, and address. Local info link setting. This, I have a whole video on this, and it's going to be exactly the same as the A9. I have it, I think it's how to use GPS on your A6500. And it'll go over this in detail. So basically, this is how you get GPS. This is all this is for. You turn this on. It says go to Bluetooth, open play memories, connect to your camera, which you should already have done. And then you can enable these here, which is auto time. It'll correct it to your area and your time to keep track. And what this does is this uses the Bluetooth, or the GPS information from your phone and sends that to your camera. So every time you take a picture, it knows right where you're standing within a couple of feet and uploads that information to the camera and links it in the metadata. Couple of things, like I said, the app has to be open and connected for it to work. And your location services on your phone has to be active. Most people have them on already. So when they Google, Chinese food near me or Italian food near me, it brings up search results relevant to your location. So if you have that, if you're doing that, if you're going to Google Maps and it knows where you are, it's already on. If you're having trouble getting this to work, I would go into your settings and look for location settings or GPS settings, however it's phrased in your particular menu, and make sure it's set to enable so that they're tracking you at all times, and that's way your camera can see what's going on. Wired LAN settings. So one of the additions to the A9 is on the left side of the body, on the side towards the lens mount, there is a pretty large cover there. You pop that open, and that is a PC cable, which has nothing to do with the PC, and a LAN port. So you can literally plug this directly into your network. So you come in here, and basically this should just stay on auto, just like your laptop, your iPhone, your iPod, your iPad, whatever devices you're using. Your router, the router or the DNS will actually automatically assign your device an IP address. If for some reason you have to come in and you have to set this up manually for whatever reason, your network's on lockdown, or it's the automatic DHCP is disabled because it's an access point instead of a router, and you have to go through, this is where you put everything in there. Now, if you're in that situation, that you're that techie that you lock down your stuff in such a way, then you already know how to fill this out. If this is all Greek to you, then just do yourself a favor and leave it on auto, because that's all you're going to need. Edit device name, that's simply you can rename your camera. So I can put Dan's A9 on here. So if you click that, it brings this up, and you could just rename it all. Okay, import root certificate. If you are in a secure business environment that they take their internet security very, very seriously, your device would need a root certificate in order to communicate with the network. If you're in that environment and you need to hook to your camera up to the Wi-Fi there, you will simply be issued by the network administrator and a root certificate that you will put on the memory card in slot 1. And you're going to then hit OK, and this is going to import the certificate into, it's going to read it and put it into the network profile, and approving you then to have access to that network. Now, I don't have a root certificate on my card, obviously, so it's just saying there's no certificate in slot 1. And finally, page 3, reset network settings. All this is going to do is reset any setting you may have changed, passwords you may have entered, IP connections you may have manually set up. When you hit enter, it's going to basically reset everything back to factory, no different than it would on a phone or anything. It's going to reset all of the network settings to factory default and restart the camera, and that's it. So that wraps this up for Network 3. If there's anything anybody would like more information on, please feel free to comment below. Reach out to me via Facebook Messenger, or you can do email me, daniel@batesphoto.net, or just comment below if you like more information on any of these particular sections. I can maybe possibly do another video detail on how to set something up, or we can just have a discussion about it. I'm available. So, and again, if you wouldn't mind, please like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you want to see the rest of our videos. And I want to say thank you. Somebody on the last video, which I still have to go and respond, pointed out about the focus hold button. So if you're watching this video and I haven't got a chance to respond to you yet, you are correct about that. My confusion and my concern came in when I said I can't seem to find a focus hold button on this camera, is that typically speaking, like so many of the other settings we went over, settings that are lens relevant, that are lens dependent, are grayed out, and it says lens not supported. I did not have a lens with a focus hold button on it, and that setting was not grayed out. So that's why I had said I can only assume then supposedly there's a button somewhere. So thank you for that, for pointing that out. for anybody who was confused, you are correct about that. My confusion came with, well, why is this setting not grayed out? I don't have my lens on here that has that focus hold button. So regardless, yes, you are correct that that would pertain to the lens, but I don't know why it wasn't grayed out. So regardless, thank you for that. Guys, again, have a great day. Thank you for joining me. And within probably 24 hours, I will have video part 5 technically up, which we're dealing with playback. And again, it's a short menu. And this is going to be even shorter than this video we just did, because there's really not a lot of involved, detailed, technical stuff here. So keep an eye out for that. Again, please subscribe, share if you wouldn't mind to your social medias. Anybody who may be shooting Sony or may be interested in this. And check us out on Facebook if you want updates. If you don't want to do the notifications on YouTube, I know they can be annoying. You can like our page, batesphoto.net, facebook.com, batesphoto.net well, one more time, facebook.com/batesphoto.net. And every video that I am uploading in this series, we're putting up the link there so people can see that the next video is up. And I'll probably continue to do that moving forward, all our videos. I've been a little lackadaisical with that, but we'll get back on the ball with that. And we got a lot of great content coming up for the A9. We posted the impromptu model shoot. We grabbed a couple of our models and just did a handful of photos just so we can get some samples out from our A9s. But we have a lot more coming up, including some in-depth tutorial videos and training videos with the A9. So please keep us in mind, check back, and as usual, thank you.